Good morning.
Look at that.
Yep.
Yummy.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another Wogs World of Rex. I'm Paulie Wogs, and welcome to the shop. In today's episode, we're going to continue on the 1997 Ford F250. We're going to start with tearing down the driver's side front axle. Last episode we did the rear axle, but today we're going to go ahead and start working on this driver's side axle. And when we get done with that, we'll see where we go from there, but maybe we'll get them painted and get them mounted to the front of the frame here. So let's get started. Thanks for watching. All right, so we have this up here on the table. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start by removing the caliper holder, and the brake rotor.
That was close.
Wow, that didn't take long. An hour? 2 hours?
Purple power!
Puppy power!
No, I said purple power. Warning, purple power does not endorse this channel.
Who would do that?
Somebody's gonna get hurt.
You know, I like working on old cars and I like restoring things, but sometimes rust is just a major pain. Whew. At least we got it. All right, so I've gotten both halves of these axles taken apart and all stripped down. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start using the needle scaler on there, which I had showed in a previous video. We're going to start using that here to break up some of this loose rust that are all over the parts. And we're going to clean, of course, the grease and stuff off from the differential unit that was bolted in here. I've got some differential fluid in here that needs to be cleaned out. And once we get all that done, we'll be able to hang these parts up and paint them. All right, so the next process here after we've got that all cleaned up is I'm going to go ahead and use my die grinder with a Scotch-Brite pad on it. We're going to go ahead and get some of this rust off with that. We've got to get all the RTV sealant off from in here where it was sealed to the front differentials. So we'll get all this cleaned up and then we'll degrease this and it'll be ready for paint. All right, well, we've come to a point here to where this is mostly cleaned up. We're in the process right now of kind of degreasing it. For anybody who's seen the previous video, one of my videos of where we're working on the Mercury Cougar, for the front end to help clean off some of the road grime and grease, I use an oven cleaner. Brand doesn't matter. Just needs to be heavy duty or extra heavy duty. And we have sprayed that down in here where the differential was sealed to the axle here. And that degreaser will actually do really good in loosening up the remaining amount of grime here and loose stuff. So we'll let that set for about 5 or 10 minutes. We'll come back and we'll wipe that off, and that'll be nice and clean. All right, so we got this all cleaned off. We got the oven cleaner all wiped off. And as you can see, it did a really good job of getting the rest of that differential fluid cleaned out of there. And even some of the RTV that was left behind, it dissolved the rest of that. So that did a really good job. But even the oven cleaner leaves behind a little bit of a residue. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use the purple power on it now to clean the rest of this off. And then we'll use the degreaser on that to give it a final clean, getting it ready for paint.
First, you wet the stove. That's the hard part.
As some of you might recall from the last video and previous videos, the next step would be to use the product POR15, which simply is the paint over rust product that I use. We'll paint these with the POR15. We'll let that flash for about 45 minutes to an hour. What we want to do before we actually put the top coat of paint over this is you want this to mostly come to a dry. You want it to be slightly tacky, if not just a hair under tacky. Like when you drag your finger across it, you want it to have a slight drag to it. And then you know it's ready for the top coat. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and put this product on. And then we're going to give it that wait time, and then we're going to paint these yellow. All right, the POR 15 has had time to cure and it's ready to get these painted. Let's do it. Well, we got these painted. We got 2 coats of paint put on them, and I think they turned out really good. They are just you know, an under vehicle axle, so it's not like we have to do, you know, 3 or 4 coats of paint to give us plenty of wear down the road for polishing and things like that. They're just going to be underneath the vehicle, so there's, you know, no reason to make them look perfect and put a lot of coats on them. We just want it to look uniform in color to the rest of the frame and axle, and I think we have accomplished that with just the 2 coats of paint. And on this one here, there's a couple of areas here where I had the tape at that, you know, didn't get paint coverage. So before I put the differential back in here, what I'll end up doing is I'll come back with POR 15 where there's these few little rust spots where the tape covered it. And what I'll end up doing is I'll just POR 15 those spots with just a little bit of a brush and clean those up. But we were able to keep the metal surface shiny for gasket material for the differential when it bolts back in, and we didn't get anything in here where lubrication will go in the future. So again, a couple coats of paint. I think they turned out good. After getting the front axle completely painted, I went inside and I got showered up and all cleaned up, get all that paint dust and everything off of me. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up here. We've come a long way on getting the axle disassembled and getting it painted. As you can see, we've still got a lot of parts here on the floor that are going to need to be cleaned up and painted as well. But now that the axle is done, we can go ahead and concentrate on these parts. We can get all of those cleaned up, painted, and get the axle reassembled into the front of the frame of this truck. And then once we do that, we can go ahead and start by putting those parts back on as well once they're painted. And I think this is moving along great. We're excited to hear that the truck is actually coming to a point to where we're going to start getting it done. So yeah, thank you for watching, everybody who has been watching. I appreciate everybody who has subscribed, and we hope you continue to enjoy these videos. Thank you for joining me in the shop, and thank you for spending a little time with me and my family.